Hey there, Tim from Alpha Wolf Trading, wanting to thank you for stopping by to watch this interview and also make it clear to you that this is not a paid-for promotion. I collect no compensation for the interviews I do here. These companies have been identified as opportunities for investment that could provide an above average return on our investment. This is our opportunity to get to know management, to understand the vision for the company, the strategy they plan to implement, and execute to achieve that vision for the company. So if you learn anything here today and you enjoyed the interview, please do us a favor and subscribe to the Alpha Wolf Trading YouTube channel. Hey everybody, Tim from Alpha Wolf Trading coming at you with another CEO. Actually, I got a whole crew here from a very interesting story. Company that I've actually just met with, was it a week ago? I think it was a week ago. Very interesting concept and actually kind of an interesting story. The whole uplisting to the NASDAQ, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Reliance Global Group Inc. Ticker symbol RELI on the NASDAQ. And I've got the CEO, Ezra Beyman, and chairman of the board. And then I've got Grant Barra, who is the senior vice president of operations. And then this gentleman here is
Moche Fishman, and I'm the director of Insuretech.
Okay. Now, who wants to start? Ezra, you want to tell me about how Reliance Global came about?
Okay, so we went public. I bet picking up an OTC company in 2019, uplisted to NASDAQ 2021. Last several years, making about 10 acquisitions. Agencies, they're cash positive. And then important acquisition we did in April of this year, April 2022, Barra Associates. And that's a focal point of the company now. Very successful. It was an existing company that has agents working under them. And now that's work agents, and they give them back office support as well as the carriers, licensing, and the concept is working very well. What we did was plug in our 5-minute insure.com. That's our own software that's been developed for the last year and a half or so, which is extremely efficient and very popular. And you can go on and get quotes from 30 different companies, literally in minutes, and buying the insurance all in 5 minutes. And we're using that now as a tool for these agents. And it's a win-win. We don't have to spend, tons of money on marketing, which is what typical platform has to do, because the agents bring the customers themselves. And we give them the support, and we share like we mentioned, the licensing, the back office support, and the carriers. They could use the technology. We can white label the marketing for them. So they, like Grant, I'm stealing your line, Grant, but they, on day one, they look like a $10 million agency. The proof is in the pudding. We made the acquisition in April. It was called Barra Associates, now called RELI Exchange. And we went from 60-something agents to over 100 agents in those 6 months or so. But the truth is, that's with simultaneously getting the site all geared up for the agent platform. So it's even faster than that. The goal is way over, like for 1,000 agents by the end of next year, and way beyond that. And it's very scalable without any major cost. And the way we look at it, we do it, is every agent we get is making an acquisition that we didn't have to pay for. That's win-win for the agents, win-win for us. So it's, a combination of human and tech, putting them together for a very healthy experience for the customer and for the agent and for us. And we're looking forward to really exploding it in a very good way.
All right, so let me back this up just a little bit, right? So when you originally went listed on the OTC, you listed as what?
As Reliance Global Group, RELI.
Which was an insurance provider.
Yeah, actually provider, insurance agent, broker. Yeah, mainly insurance. Yeah.
Insurance.
Okay. Okay. And then when you started that journey, did you think you're going to wind up here?
Not actually. Some it evolved. I knew the power of the human agent aspect and harnessing that with technology. And actually, while we were developing the technology, we were looking for this type of acquisition with an existing. I'm a big believer in, take something that's already working. And Grant's company, Barra, was already working, profitable, systems in place. And when we had our initial talk with Grant, that really energized us as well, because Grant went, wow, in a very positive way, saying, hey, if we could give this to our agents, this is dynamite. There's no one doing this. By the way, it's important to make that there are companies similar, but the combination, what we're giving, at the level of sophistication of our software technology, and the support and everything else that goes into it, and the lack of big barriers getting in. We don't charge a franchise fee or anything. This combination of factors that we know of, there's nothing in the US, period. 50 states, 300 plus million people. There's nothing else in the country like this. And I'm a big believer in it's working. It's already worked. Over 100 agents, and it's very scalable. And every day we're adding more. So we think it's.
So how did Grant, I'm going to let you take this portion. How did the two of you connect?
Grant? Yeah.
So I ran a company called Barra and Associates. So Barra and Associates, well over a decade, probably going on 15 years. So what we did was our focus was on building a career channel, an opportunity for agents to be able to have an independent practice, an independent insurance agent, be an independent agent, as opposed to the alternatives that were in the market, which is being a captive insurance agent. So let me tell you what a captive insurance agent is, because a lot of the audience may not have a full understanding. What a captive insurance agent is, it's someone that represents one carrier, right? So it's a single carrier agreement. That agent is always representing one carrier.
So you're talking State Farm, Allstate,
right? What if you go to a State Farm office, whether or not State Farm is the best opportunity, guess what's being presented to you? State Farm, right? That's not always the best option. As a matter of fact, if you look at the stats, how they break out over a period of time, I'm not talking about taking a 1, 2, or 3 month period, but you take a 12, 18, 24 month period. These captive companies are offering, you run 20 new prospects to their platform. Realistically, you're probably going to be competitive against their current carrier 3 times, right? So what we want to manage to internally is making sure our agents in the field, out of every 10 opportunities they run through our platform, 10 clean, good opportunities, we want to be competitive against the current carrier 9 times. We're actually competitive against their current carrier almost every time, right? So that's a huge advantage, right? Because instead of running 20 through and having an opportunity to close 3, you run 20 through and you have an opportunity to close 18. Tim, as I say that, it sounds too good to be true to me, right? Like, oh my gosh, you can go over there and you can have a competitive offering for your clients just about every time. Well, it sounds too good to be true because most experiences lie with those captive carriers. If I was to dive in to all of our carrier offerings and pull one carrier out of that mix, just one, and only represent that one carrier, Tim, we would fall into a substantially similar situation with only being competitive a couple times, right? The reason we are so much more competitive is because every client is considered a risk, right? Tim, you're a risk to an insurance company. I'm a risk to an insurance company. Everyone on this call is a risk to the insurance company. And then each individual company has a risk appetite. And what our platform and technology does is it matches what that client's risk is to the carrier that has the best risk appetite, right? Because when you think about it, State Farm, Allstate, Farmer, they're all great companies and they provide very good policies. But you know what, Tim? So is every other A and A+ rated carrier out there, right? So they're all great companies. So what we want to do is find the right company with the right person. So right there for the agent, they're winning. Does that make what we're doing special? Well, there's raters out there that will help get you to that point. But our platform, in addition to doing that, leverages automation and artificial intelligence to make it easier, faster, and more accurate to come up with those rates, right? So that in itself is a benefit to our end agents. As we were building out this agency partner under Barra, we were leveraging relationships and third-party software vendors, right, in order to be able to offer anything similar to what we're doing today. I recognized early on that we needed to control the software suite, right? There's third-party vendor risk. Like they change something, we're at risk. So we needed to be able to control that software, one, so we could eliminate that third-party risk, and two, so we could develop it in a way to where it would literally be the best possible option for any independent agent coming into our industry to be able to succeed. So, and Tim, we don't lose very many people. And if we do lose them, it's incredibly rare to lose them within the industry. It's not like they're going to go somewhere else and be more successful. We have the tech platform, we have the support, and we have the offerings all bundled up in a way to where it's represented to the agent's clients as their business and labeled and branded as their business.
So walk me through. I'm an independent insurance agent, right? Why do I want to join Reliance Global Group?
All right, so we're top 3 sources that we're pulling our most successful agents from is number 1, which I find to be our most highly productive, yet isn't our largest volume of individuals that we're bringing in. And we're refocusing our marketing efforts to make sure we're bringing in more of these individuals, is the captive agency owners. So these are people that have State Farm, Farmers, Allstate, etc., other captive agencies in the field. They have office, they have staff, and they're hustling every day to find as many possible people that they can quote to run through their system, because they know they need to find 20 to 40 people to be competitive in 3 to 6. That's a lot of effort. That's our number 1 source, because we can bring them over and immediately, not changing their activity level, allow them to be significantly more competitive and to be able to do it quicker than you were previously able to do it within the insurance industry. The second group of individuals, these individuals could be working for a captive, or they could be working for an independent insurance agency. But this is the second group that I find thrive the most underneath our program. They're producers, they're CSRs. They see their bosses, their agency owners, and they want to be an agency owner. They are hustling every single day to drive clients into their agent's practice. They're working hard. And sometimes working for that agent is not enough for them, right? They want something for themselves. We want to help those individuals have their own independent insurance agency, right? Which we do more than just insurance, but our own independent insurance agency. So they can continue to do what they know and they love, but they're building something for themselves. They're also building value and relationships underneath their own brand. So that's our number 2. And our third is what I would consider a green person. I find that there's a lot of individuals that want to be entrepreneurs. A lot of people want to run their own business. They want to be an entrepreneur. It sounds sexy, and you know, all the influencers are talking about it. Well, the reality is, yeah, a lot of people want to be entrepreneurs, but most people that want to be entrepreneurs don't necessarily know what to do, what to sell. How do I start the business? How do I form the business? How do I even know my product will be good enough to be able to sell? These are individuals that our platform is built for. The entrepreneurs can focus in on what they do best, which is selling, finding clients, selling them the business, which goes into their practice and continues to renew year after year after year. And they continue to get paid on it as long as those clients stay on the books. We have a platform that is their business. It's client facing day one, client facing. They have a presence. They look like they have a $10 million agency from the get-go. They have the credibility, and they truly have the resources and support behind them to make it all real. Now, someone that wanted to be in business for themselves is in business for themselves, and they can start generating revenue in 30 to 45 days.
So they're under their own, are they under the Reliance Global brand, or?
So Reliance Global Group is the parent company of RELI Exchange. So to find more information on RELI Exchange, it's reliexchange.com, www.reliexchange.com. So RELI Exchange was Barra and Associates. Barra and Associates was rebranded to be RELI Exchange. It's a stronger name. And the platform that our agents have are branded to their brand and their logo. It's all customized. There's examples on the site. You guys can take a look at it. It's awesome. Like, it's fantastic. You cannot find a way to build a business in our industry, likely anywhere, that you would look like this day one with as little upfront cost and hurdle to get involved with us as we have. It's really just very good. It's a win all around.
And what does that cost the insurer to come on board with you?
So right now, and this isn't going to last forever because our competition is charging, depending on the area of the country, $25,000, $35,000, $45,000. I've heard of numbers as high as $65,000 franchise fees in order to have the opportunity to spend money on their office and employees. What we charge right now during this ramp up time, and this will not last forever, is we do not charge anything. So I guess what I'm saying is, as we ramp up, right now, it does not cost anything for people to get on.
It's zero.
So with that said, there are costs that could come into play, and I do not want to hide those costs. We're in a highly regulated industry, and you do have to be professionally licensed in the state that you're going to be able to write this business. Right? So this is not information that you're going to pay Reliance Global Group or RELI Exchange, but there are costs associated with getting licensed, right, to the states. And that is a cost that they would incur. We will walk them through the process. Day one, we'll hold their hands through the trainings that they must take and the licensing. And we've gotten people through it in as little as 2 weeks, and it's taken as much as 6 weeks. But the reality is on the low side to get 2 weeks, I mean, all the stars got to align. All the classes have to be in the right place. I expect someone to really knock this out in 3 to 4 weeks, but there's a cost there. So I don't want to hide that cost, Tim.
Okay.
So I think it's important to grant. I mean, what are we talking about? A few $100s?
Yeah, it depends on the state. Could be a couple $100. It's definitely less than $1,000.
But your exchange, your product that you're offering, that's all good to sell in every state, right?
So not every state. We are licensed in 47 states.
Okay.
And we're rolling out the states in which we're onboarding agents in. We are controlling the experience for the agents as we bring them on, because it is incredibly important for us to make sure we are delivering on the promises that we give them. So could we grow faster? Without question, we could. But I want to do it. I want to make sure it's done in a way to where everyone wins. Because when an agent is on our platform, their clients are benefiting from the offerings that they have access to. Like, they're benefiting. It's a win for clients to work with our agency partners. In turn, our partners are able to write significantly more business. And for those reasons, and the idea that we're controlling the cost to acquire clients, it is a huge win for Reliance Global Group.
All right, so I want to bring this up real quick. So I went to your RELI exchange, right?
Oh, perfect.
So we've got, there's your 5-minute quote, right?
Yep.
And so the way it works, the agent puts their logo right here, right?
Right.
We do it a white glove service. So when we onboard them, we set up all the back end of the technology. So the agent does not have to be a developer. They just have to sell insurance, and we give them this sleek site to start. So that's part of the onboarding. We make it look nice. We match up the colors. So when their clients come to give a quote, they really think this agent developed a $10 million website.
Okay. So they've got a referral network. They've got more insurance carriers.
So Tim, when you look at that, pull back up that screen. So, because that can be client facing. Like, yeah. So, I mean, if you're looking at that portal right there, scroll up a little bit more.
Up.
Oh, you're going down, up, right there. So you're showing that screen right there. So Tim, imagine this. So it says your agency name here. When we change that logo, when Moche says that it's white gloved, he's truly saying it's white glove service. Like, they provide our logo. The rest of the website, actually, the colors change to match the logo. Like, it is theirs. And if you notice, there's nothing in here to identify RELI Exchange other than that little symbol in the bottom right-hand corner. That's by design. When we have clients come to this website, like, clients don't care that these agents are working with us. What they care is they're working with the agent. And we want that agent to be able to represent his business as it is. It's his business. So with that said, the clients aren't going to notice that, and they're going to notice what it actually is. At the same time, there's a tremendous benefit in us having that symbol in the right-hand corner. You see, because we are so competitive, we are constantly beating up our competition. When you're beating up your competition, Tim, guess what they do? They research you, right? If you're beating your competition, they're going to your website. They go to the website. Those individuals that are going to the website are going to see that symbol. Oh, I see this. Tim's agency, he's kicking our butt. Where the heck did he get this website? Clicks that in the bottom right-hand corner. It now brings you to our selling sites, which is showing them what the opportunity is. And with what they see there, Tim, who else is doing this? Where else are they going to go and get this? Right now, they're not. Right now, it's us. So that's their opportunity to inquire about the information. It's going to hook them up with one of our sales directors, and our sales directors are going to call them up, qualify them, make sure they're a good fit, right? Because we got to invest time. We got to make sure they're a good fit. So we're going to make sure they're a good fit. And if they are, we're going to get them set up. We're going to get their site set up. And then what people normally think is it's hands off at that point. right? Good luck. Let us know how you do. That's not how we work. It's way too much work to get these people on board. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that they perform. They are invited to and participate in calls with the direct carriers, right? Ongoing every week, calls with the direct carriers, trainings on how to navigate the website behind the scenes. Then we have sales and marketing meetings on, we're not catching people the fish, right? We're teaching them how to fish. Sales and marketing processes, including social media avenues that allow them to continuously generate opportunities into their business that they put into the platform, and they're able to do more business. On top of that, they are also assigned a dedicated coach. This coach at a minimum is meeting with them for 20 minutes a week. Now, I'm not saying any of this is required. This is value add services. And if they're utilizing them, we find that they're very high performers, right? I mean, if you have zero activity and you participate in no trainings and you do nothing for your business, it's going to produce nothing. So that's why we work so tightly with them.
Okay. So I think I'm getting the grasp of all of this, right? So right now it costs them nothing. Immediately you've got a very professional look, right? You got a 5-minute, I mean, who doesn't want to have a 5-minute quote? I mean, that would be perfect for me, right? So you're making them more efficient. You're giving them all the back end stuff, right? You don't do the marketing for them. That's on them, right?
So we do that during coaching calls, but ultimately the value that an agent provides a company is their ability to find and bring in prospects. So that's why we teach them how to market. The reality is, yes, we come across a lot of opportunities, and we're working with other entities within our organization on sharing actual leads, like, real leads that are actual clients, not those lists that you're promised from everywhere else. But we're working on those avenues. But again, those don't need to be the reason someone joins us. The platform itself is enough. The access and the support. I mean, they're not going to go somewhere else and be more successful than they're going to be able to be on our platform. And I'm not saying that they can't go somewhere else and be successful, Tim. There's a lot of people that are successful outside of our organization. But if you're successful outside of our organization, imagine what you would have done while you were here.
Right. So what is it? So as an agent working through you, you guys have got to get paid somewhere, right?
We do. So we get paid based on a percentage of the revenue.
Percentage of their revenue that they bring in.
So they have what's called a street rate inside the insurance industry. And right. They receive year one, 80% of all the revenue that comes in. Year two and on, they receive 50% of the revenue that comes in, particularly on the property and casualty business. This is in their book of business. So they have a platform. They are not required to have office space. They are not required to have staff. They have a full Insuretech suite available to them that makes it easier, faster, more accurate. They have access to all the carriers in which they, and mark my words, Tim, you cannot find a person that is not incredibly wealthy and well-connected that can get these contracts. Like today, like you would have to have so much experience in the insurance industry to even get them to convince them to give you a quality P&C contract without having existing revenue. They have that with us. And they do not have to meet the individual requirements of each carrier. Every carrier wants $100, $200, $500,000 a year in premium. It's very difficult for one single individual to meet that. That is met at the corporate level. That is met with zero challenges because of the size of the network that we currently have and the operating flow of business that we have going through. So to get where we are today as an individual, I just think it's too much to ask. Your best option would be to find a platform that can offer something similar to what we do here. And as it is today, We are the only person that offers all the solutions that we've talked about.
Okay.
Tim, I would just jump in. There's another aspect which we always get the question. You know, I understand right now you're letting RELI Exchange agency partners come for free, but what type of cost is that to RELI Exchange to onboard these agents? You know, we have to set up the technology suites and give them all the credentialing. So maybe, Grant, if you want, you or I could jump in on that, of how that's a very big win for us as well.
Awesome. So I'm going to piggyback on that because Moche is absolutely right. So before I even talk about the costs of the platform, I want to say, Tim, and anybody listening to this call, if you've ever had to work with developers on achieving a software platform, it is incredibly difficult, right? They talk another language. Moche, he's got the ability to be able to communicate, hold them accountable, and make a product look fantastic. So I want to make sure he gets credit where credit's due because I don't think this could have happened without him.
Thank you.
With that said, specifically the costs and controlling the platform does another thing for you. So when you're working with third-party software vendors, you're paying a seat cost. So every time you onboard agents across the country, one of the things that prevented us from just onboarding as many possible agents that would qualify and make sense for us to onboard, the cost and the expense to do stuff was astronomical because you're constantly getting all these seat costs with another $100 here, $250 there, $400 here. Like it adds up incredibly fast because it's a proprietary solution that we've built. I'm not saying that there's no cost in building it. There was, but there's no cost in growing it. So there's no seat costs. Like your costs are pretty fixed. And we can just add as many people in as we need to. The qualifying aspect is also important though, because we need to make sure business is done the right way. And we need to make sure we're bringing people on with the right mindsets that are really out there to help clients. Because, you know, doing the right thing for the client is way better long-term, right? The lifetime value of a client and what you're doing is way better long-term when you're doing the right thing for them from the beginning. Essentially, our system presses our agents to do the right thing for them from the get-go because they can't circumvent quoting things or just be like, oh, I'm lazy today, so I'm only going to one carrier that I think they're going to fit. Tim, if someone says they think they know what's best for you, Tim, they have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea what they're doing because there's so many factors behind the scenes that you have to leverage technology to find that, right? So that's what they're getting, and there's no additional cost as we expand to the sales platform.
And then last week when we spoke, there was also, we kind of talked about the ability to expand product offering, right?
We did. Let me touch on that. So Ezra, I think it was Ezra that brought to the table, he has a relationship with a third-party company doing commercial loans. So imagine this. So imagine having the platform that we're talking about right here, and then wanting, right? So now you want to have that platform. Well, this platform is for entrepreneurs. It's heavily reliant on insurance because the insurance space is awesome. Has so much residual income. It's very sticky. Like we don't want to forget about that aspect because it is just so good to us. But we add in things like being able to refer out commercial loans. So, but we do it in a way to where the agent that has the relationships with clients has an opportunity to refer out a commercial loan. We don't want them spending time learning about commercial loans or selling something that they don't necessarily have the expertise to sell. We want to rely on the experts in each individual area. They put the information of an interested prospect. It goes over to our partner who does the commercial loans. That agent can now track it in our system of where it's at in the process. Our partner closes that opportunity. Compensation from that deal is then paid to the referring party where allowable. So that's just one aspect. What about payroll offer. And so not that we have this in place yet, but just an idea. What if we had payroll offerings that we did the exact same thing to? What if we were just adding additional buttons and ways for our entrepreneurs on our Insuretech platform to be able to refer out business and continue to make money in other ways than just insurance? I mean, this is really an entrepreneur's dream platform that doesn't have a product and specific business that they are launching now, but want to be an entrepreneur.
Okay. All right. I think I'm getting the big picture here. So what do we have here? This is an example of insurance agency house.
Those are a lot of things, and I'll let Ezra jump in and talk. But I think I have something that your investors on the phone may like to hear. What that is think about all these insuretechs that are run into the market. Like, they have great solutions. Their stories are awesome. But what really matters is the cost to acquire clients, right? I mean, like, if you're not trying to figure out how much it costs to acquire clients, I think as an investor, you're missing the boat. Mm-hmm. So most of these places are trying to cut out insurance agents, and they're trying to cut out agencies. And the insuretech providers are touting, look how much more profitable we are. Our margins are way bigger than everyone else's because we're keeping all the commissions, right? Invest with us. But Tim, how are they getting those clients? Well, how they're getting the clients when they go direct to consumer is they're marketing online. So, you're paying for your information to pop up on certain screens. You're paying for every click to come through. Tim, you're so sophisticated, you might be able to pull it up here on the spot. How much does it cost for someone to Google auto insurance quote and get a click? So don't take the time to Google it now. You can do it later. But what it's going to cost you is $75, $150, $300 for a click, right? It depends on
one of the top competitive words that Google gets paid to search.
It's real. So Tim, on a product that you're going to make $150 to $300 in commission on, you're going to spend somewhere between $75 to $300 a click to come through your site. How many of those are even going to fill out the form? You're telling me that's going to be profitable? Yeah, you're going to be profitable with like a 5 to 10 year time frame out in the future. So what we've done is we do not agree that cutting out agents in the field is the way to be more profitable. Maybe if you have like a bunch of business on the books, if you're generating all the leads, maybe, but you're still paying to generate those leads. So our agents put the clients through the platform. They're paid on a percentage of revenue. They're paid a very healthy percentage, right? And they're given an opportunity to close more business than they could anywhere else. So the clients win because they're getting the best coverage. The agents win because they're paid incredibly well, very high percentages. We win because every client acquisition is profitable, right? So that's like stage one when they're on with us. But now think about having the agency itself. So every single client is profitable. So as long as that agency stays with us and continues to thrive, they grow that practice and continue to earn, right? So Reliance Global Group wins. If this is not right for them and they do pivot and want to go to something else or another industry, and I can tell you we lose very few people after 18 months, I would say it's within the first 12 months where you find if people are going to make it or not. And the differentiating factor is activity. If our partners have activity, they are likely to succeed. If our partners do not act and do not do anything, well, the results of doing nothing is usually nothing, right? So again, but that's why there's a vetting process. We want to make sure people are the right fit. So we're not just signing up anybody.
All right. So talk to me. You started out with 60, right? Agents, Ezra?
Yes.
All right. And you're at what now?
Over 100 agents right now.
Over 100. Okay.
And the goal is by the end of next year, over 1,000.
The goal is the next year be over 1,000.
At the end of the year, correct.
And when we say agents, we're agency partners. You know, an agency can have more than one agent working for them, but this is the whole agency. So it's big stuff.
So if you're talking about individuals, it's over 100, I'm sure.
Thanks for listening to part 1 of the interview with Reliance Global Group. Make sure you listen to part 2, where you're going to hear more about the opportunities for growth, the technical analysis on the chart, and some other tidbits that I'm sure you will find interesting.